exact video. I love this part. Waiting for people to come on. Light's a little bright today. I'm always messing with the lighting when you guys come on. I have to change it every single time for some reason. Still waiting. Let's see. Welcome to Coffee Breaks Thursdays. I'm your host, Jason Zalatkis. It's Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalatkis. Thank you for being here. I'm waiting for my guest today. Our guest today is Tracy Sheldon, and she is in the film, of course, Coffee Breaks, because as you know, this is Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalatkis. Bunch of shout outs today. Let's see. We had started the show, but we're still waiting for people to join. So I'm always hesitant to start before we even have, any viewers. So I never really know what's going on here. I'm just sort of waiting for people. Let's see what happens, and then we'll start over. Essentially, let's take a look. Let's see what we got going on. Okay, so hello there. I see you guys are there, and I see that our guest is waiting here patiently to be on the video. She's the first guest to ever arrive on time, even prior to the producer. So there's that. So let's start the show. Hello, it's Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalatkis. Welcome to Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalatkis. Why am I just repeating myself? Today we've got a great show for you. Tracy Sheldon is our guest today, and as you know, she's in the film Coffee Breaks, which is why we're here on Thursdays, is for the film Coffee Breaks. So I got a few things I want to talk about before we really get going here with the program. I wanted to tell you that my mother had a few things to say about last week's episode. My mother wanted me to tell you that the quote I gave from my dad was actually attributed to my mother. So just so you know, that's a correction on that. My mother is the one who said Tyler Donovan was great and that John Lear was okay, or something like that. My mother wants you to know I probably just misquoted her again. Also, I wanted to tell you that I was supposed to give away this coffee mug this week, and my mother said, again, this is a bunch about my mom, but again, that my mother said, Jay, I gave you that mug, you can't give it away, and so I'm not giving it away. Plus, the truth is, the production team knows I'm backed up already on a couple of the giveaways we've already done. I haven't even gotten those out, so I apologize to people still waiting, and hopefully I'm trying to fix this lighting as I look. Obviously, I'm talking, I'm looking at the lighting, I'm doing this whole thing. Is that even any better? It's probably not. I don't know why I'm messing with this. It doesn't matter. So, anyway, I'm not giving anything away this week. So there's no giveaways this week because basically my mom said, Jay, I gave you that mug, don't give it away. So there's no giveaways and I'm just not doing it. And I also, my mother said that that I made them sound elderly on last week's episode. And the truth is that was sort of the intent. So I was sort of, the topic was that I was talking about was that my parents are getting older and I'm seeing it. And then my mom's like, Jay, you might sound elderly. But, they're kind of old. So, yeah. So, you're on, okay, you can barely hear me. Let me see if I can turn this volume up on this. Is that any better? Can you hear me now? I don't know if that's any better. Does that change something? Okay, it says they can't, that I'm having poor connection. Can you hear me better? Can anybody hear me now? Talking? I actually think someone's at my front door, which is really strange. Okay, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. Is this thing's even working? Tell me you can hear me. Okay, nobody's responding. I don't know what to do here, so we're going to just continue. This week, you guys always ask me what I'm drinking out of. So this week I'm going to tell you. I'm drinking out of this coffee mug that belonged to my wife's uncle Steve, and I sometimes wear his flannel. I sometimes wear his flannel on set. I don't know why I just lost my train of thought again, but I sometimes wear his flannel on set even, and you'll see me in
you'll see me in some things. You'll see me wearing a flannel that I have. It's a Pendleton, and it actually belonged to Uncle Steve. So I do a lot of tributes to Uncle Steve. He was a solid dude and a really cool guy. So this mug is for Uncle Steve this week. Drinking for him. Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalakis. And we are going to get to our guest here right away. We normally have a lot more time. Today we don't. So here we go. Welcome to Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalakis. Jay, fumble your words. Your producer, Warren Madden. I want to give a shout out to Warren Madden. As always, this guy makes it happen week after week for us. Warren Madden is the one who does this. He's the one who arranges the guests. He's the one who does all of that. He tests it. He has the whole thing hooked up. He's an amazing guy. Anyway, shout out to him. Here we go. Tracy, I know you've been waiting patiently. Let's see. I pulled you up. Maybe you're not still there. Maybe you left. Let's see. Okay, Tracy, it's not letting me add you for some reason, even though you were on. I saw you. Let me try again here. We're having a little thing here. I realize you guys can see me type this, which is really fun when I watch this in the back. Okay, there we go. So invite has been sent. Let's see if Tracy comes on. And as I said, here we go. Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalakis. No giveaways this week, but thank you for watching anyway. Hopefully you're not here just for that stuff. The truth is I want to give stuff away. I am just too lazy or whatever to get it shipped out. I just haven't done it yet. And I also haven't found a bunch of the stuff that I want to give out. Pictures and calendars. I haven't found it since the move. We are live from Los Angeles, California. It is beautiful here. Just so you know, the weather is hot and warm. We've had some pretty great days. I spent a lot of time at the beach. I do a lot of time at the beach. Got hurt at the beach the other day playing football with my kid, and that was a rough time. But here we go. We're going to see. I think our guest is there. Hello to all of my fans. Oh, one thing I forgot to tell you is thank you to my fans across the sea, across the pond, across India, wherever you guys are. Thank you. Also, in all those other countries, stay safe out there. I know you're probably saying the same thing to us, but please, everybody, stay safe out there. Here we go. Let's see if our guest is ready to come on today. Here it is. Ready? And let's. Is coming on. Let's take a look.
Hello.
There you are. Hello.
Hi. Work.
Yes. So, is that me or is that on your end?
What's wrong?
I'm hearing a crashing audio sound. Is that on my end? Are you still here? Are you here? No. So I think there's something wrong with my headphones.
Okay.
There's always some difficulty on the show. This is how we live the audio. I don't know if it's these. Are they in the right area? Yeah. I just got these. I talked about them last week on the show. They're just making a mess there. Let me see if I can do something about them. So unprofessional. I don't know what to do about this. Is everyone hearing this scratching sound? Are you hearing it?
I don't hear it scratching enough.
You do hear it?
Is my voice sound good?
No, only mine.
Okay, no, I don't hear it scratching.
Okay. I gotta figure these out. I think I got a headphone emergency. Okay, you can hear the scratching sound when I talk. I got a headphone emergency. Let me try to do something. Okay, is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I still hear something. I don't know what it is. The audio is bad here.
Okay.
So even on this headphone.
It sounds good.
Let's try to reconnect.
Okay.
Okay. Hang on.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Can you guys hear me now? I've never had this problem before. We're trying this before. Can you guys hear me okay at this point? You should hear me clearly. You've heard me clearly the whole time. I have to wait for you guys to do that. I've never had this problem on the show, but this is live TV, folks. This is what happens when you're doing Yes, I'm clear. Okay, so let's try this again. Here we go. Here we go. So you see, I'm convinced it's not on my end, right? I'm trying to do this headphone thing, but maybe it's not on my end. Who knows? What do I know about running the show? All right, here we go. I've never done this before. That's not true. I do it every week. Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I'm really glad you're here this week. You know, we're going to bring Tracy Sheldon on as soon as we get her audio somehow fixed. You guys are always on point with it. So again, shout out. My mother missed the whole part. I don't know if she's still on, but I wanted to shout out again. My mom said last week that I attributed a quote to my dad that was actually to her. So I just want you guys to know that. And also my mom said I can't give away the mug because she gave it to me, and I was like, I knew that, but you know, I didn't even think my mom was watching the show. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I didn't think my mom cared. So we're going to try to bring the guest back on. Here we go. And again, Uncle Steve, rocking your mug. Rest in peace to Uncle Steve. Here we go. Let's see if we can bring the guest on here. I still don't see our guest there. Okay, I see our guest's name on here, but it won't add me. We're going to try again. We're not going to have what happened last week where I had to do the whole show myself. Let's try. If you have your audio turned up too loud, it can cause a kind of distortion. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Audio wasn't even full up. All right, let's try, guys. Good luck on this one. Let's hope we have a better connection and better audio. We got a lot of viewers this week. Okay, you're back.
Yes.
Okay, so that's better, I think. Maybe it's not great.
It sounds good.
Okay, the audience has confirmed it's your end.
Maybe I'm too loud.
It might be too loud or something because that could be what it is. Mine is down, actually.
I turned it down a little bit. How's that?
Okay. Oh, that's so much better.
Oh, great. I had it
Wait,
all.
okay. Can you turn it down a little more?
Okay. How's that?
Okay. Okay, at least that's... No, it's still echoing, but it's not terrible.
Oh, gosh.
It's something happening with her reverb is what the people are telling us. It's still really up there. I don't know if it's on my end. I tried switching headphones.
Aw.
This is tough.
Sorry. I don't know what's going on. It's my first time doing this.
So why don't I try to talk a little bit and not too much this time? And when you talk, it's clear. So maybe that makes sense. So maybe just my part is horrible.
Okay.
So, okay, so someone is suggesting maybe your headphones could work. If you have headphones, maybe that's better.
Headphones.
I don't know if this is a great idea or not. I've never done this. I've never had
I have these headphones.
Let's try it. Because my dad hates that these are roped in front of me. That's why he bought me those other ones. I can't even.
Let's see.
Clear when she talks, but not when I do. So I don't know what to do. Maybe it's on my end, but I keep turning it down. Can you guys hear me?
How's that?
I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Can you guys hear me? No. Okay, can you hear me? I don't know what's going on. I can't hear anyone now. Hip on one foot, hop on one foot. Who's clear? We're both clear? It's only me now. What the heck? You guys, I have no idea what you're saying. Fixed it. She's not on the show. Is it on my end? I don't know. You guys, this is great TV, even though it's not the script. It's way better for both. So let's try it again. Tracy, I'm trying to bring you on. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. I don't see you here. Still trying to bring our guest on. Works now. She's not here. I have to bring our guest on, you guys. I love you on the other side of the... Thank you for getting up in the middle of the night to see me in London. You guys, thank you, Liz. You are majesty incarnate for our show. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate you guys who listen. It happens when one of you had headphones and the other one doesn't. I have no idea what's going on with this stuff. Jay, was her PC. She needs to accept headphone. My mother is chiming in, you guys, giving technological advice. That's how wild this show is my mother has cleared herself to give technological advice. Like you guys, my mother even goes to my dad on that stuff. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, Jay asked your dad. I have no idea. Like, and now we all go to my kid, right? Like, oh, Victor, what do we do with this? Like, so, but my mother even knows what's going on. I have no idea. So anyway, let's just keep going. This is what we do. So again, right? I'm going to lose you guys because you want to see her. You're here for her. No, you're here for me. You're here for me. You're here for me. The guy with more props and stunts than Bruce Willis. That's me. I know you're here for me. So my mother has a helper. That's who is, okay, so I knew it wasn't my mom. I knew it. Like, I was like, you guys, this is so mind-blowing. But it wasn't my mom. It was actually someone at the school. My mother is a substitute teacher. She's battling the COVID, the children, I don't know, at school, right? She's risking it there. She's there to help the kids. And I appreciate my mom for doing that. She loves doing it. And so she has a kid there who is helping her. So I'll bet he's like 14. Well, she works at a middle school or something. So he's probably like, I don't know, 12. Anyway, let's see if we can get our guest on the show at some point here. Let's see what happens. We're going to try one more time and see what happens here. And, Warren isn't here this week. He told me he had an appointment. So, again, shout out to the producer, Warren Madden. And Warren lives in Florida. And I'm here in Los Angeles doing this show live for you guys. So, and again, the weather is beautiful. I'm looking outside. It's like take your shirt off day. Of course, every day for me is take your shirt off day. I just do it. And, that's a thing. And, I'm like Mark Wahlberg. I'm trying to read you guys' comments and talk at the same time. My mother goes, Jay, you just seem really distracted. I'm trying to also read the comments while I talk, which is a distracting thing, to read the comments and talk. I also have like a whole bunch of notes that I wrote about our guest coming up. So hopefully let's see if we can get our guest on board. If not, we'll bring someone else on the show. Why not? Why not today? We're doing what we feel like. It's my show. Of course, it's your show. It's Warren Madden and Coffee Breaks production team show. It's my show, you guys. It's straight me. I'm doing it. I'm doing what I want. What are I going to do? So before we bring on someone, we're having trouble with the guest. Before we bring on someone who wants to discuss film, because that's what I want to talk about is film. Before we do, I want to talk to you about Toy of the Week. And I wasn't going to do Toy of the Week this week. I was like, I'll forget all these little side bits and all this stuff. But Toy of the Week, Tracy, I'm having trouble bringing you on. I wasn't going to do all these side bits, but now I'm sort of doing. I decided I'd like to do the side bits. So I want to share with you something from my personal collection. All these things you see on Toy of the Week are from my personal collection. They're all something that means something to me, and so I want to show you this. This is one of my favorite pieces in my entire collection, and it's 7-Eleven dice. So these are from the 50s. Now, of course, I wasn't there in the 50s. My fingers are blocking it. Anyway, you got to take my word for it. Doesn't matter. Copyright 53. They are 7-Eleven dice. They're trick dice from a magic shop. And when you would roll, they will always roll 7 or 11. They never miss, right? And they're just a funny magic gag. But when I was a kid, I spent a lot of time at Pier 39 in San Francisco. And Pier 39 had a magic shop. And it had all those little gags on it. And I would love those because I would buy those and little gags because they were what I could afford. And I always like to get something like that. And to me, like magic tricks are like a huge thing. So that's something from my collection. And you don't have to know it. Again, there's no prizes this week. There's nothing we're doing like that. But I just wanted to share that with you. And it's made by Adams. So that's something that I really enjoy is collecting some of that. And so let's see if we can get our guest on. And if not, if Warren was here, we would just go with it. But let's see what we got here. We are going to try to get Tracy Sheldon on again. Let's see what happens. I am having some trouble again. Let's see. I sent an invite, so I can't send another invite, Tracy. And so you have to sort of request to be on again or something. I'm not really sure. I'm going to let you try to figure that out here for a moment. I'm going to put a little more coffee in my mug here. Is the sound on my end? Are you guys hearing bad sound on my end? Is that the thing? No one has said that again. Okay, so how about now? I guess I'm having the sound problem. Is it me? Is it me? Okay, if it's me, I have no idea. Let's try it again. Okay, we're trying to bring her on. I don't know. We're going to see. Sounds good there. Okay, okay. Somebody said what's up with the sound, so I just don't know. Maybe his live stream is behind. I don't know how this works again, you guys. What is the deal with this? I was hoping to have these kinks ironed out, and I really thought we did. Get the kinks worked out, and we didn't. Every week, visual kinks, visual kinks, visual kinks. This week, audio kinks. That's where we're hoping to stop the kinks, except for, what is the kinks? My Sharona, right? That's the kinks, isn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the kinks. So we need to not have the kinks on the show. I'm trying to add our guest. I see it here. Still adding. Mark Edens is doing soundtrack. No wonder he's concerned with the sound. So we actually have the guy who is doing the sound for the soundtrack for the film. I'm assuming you meant the film Coffee Breaks. What is up with our guest? If Warren was here, I can't believe we have this many viewers on a week where our guest is. Where were you guys last week when I was like doing this whole great spiel, and I did a little bit of comedy and I did this whole great stuff. So let's just talk here for a moment. Let's see what we got going on. Let's see. Tracy approved. Come on, I'm trying to add you on. I got lots of stuff to talk about. I mean, I'm still wondering. Nobody answered me last week, so let's ask the question again. Can anyone do commercials? I've been told that because I'm a commercial guy, right? Like I'm an actor, I'm a dramatic actor, but I've done like so many commercials. And a guy said to me, man, anyone can do commercials. Is that true? Is that true? I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. I don't know that that's true. I mean, I think there's a spot for everyone, sure. But can anyone do it? I don't think so. I mean, that's like saying anyone can ride a bicycle, but can you win the Tour de France? I don't know. Probably not. Can I even win a local race? Probably not. Like, you know what I mean? So can anyone do it? I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. So Shaq can't do commercials? Oh my gosh. So let's talk about Shaq, because you guys know I love cereal. I'm like a cereal head. Like I talk to you guys about cereal. I talk to you guys every week about cereal. I talk about that I eat, I'm pointing because that's where my refrigerator is. I eat Ghostbusters and Pokemon, and I go week after week to see the different cereals that come out. And this week I saw Shaq on a box of Frosted Flakes. And it was Frosted Flakes with basketballs. And they got the dumbest picture of Shaq on there. And he's going like this. He's going, oh, I see some basketballs. Like, oh my God, Tony, why didn't you tell me you had basketballs in your cereal before? And I'm looking at this thing and I'm saying to myself, if as an actor, would I, or as let's say even a celebrity, which I'm not, but if I became a celebrity, would I do that? Would I be willing to go, oh, on a box of course I would, because you guys know me, I love cereal. But I thought, man, Shaq will sell anything. And you know who else will sell anything? Snoop Dogg. We all agree on that, right? That Snoop Dogg could calm down. Like Snoop Dogg does not have to sell every product in the store. I think we all can agree on that. That Snoop Dogg is not like, dude, okay, pick one. Like we get it, dude. Like you're popular. Like we get it. We all like you. Everyone knows. And then I asked my wife the other day, I said, do you remember Snoop Lion? Because that's how corny Snoop Dogg is. Remember that dude tried to be Snoop Lion? And then she was like, no. And I was like, you don't? Like, Snoop Lion was when Snoop tried to do reggae. And it was like, so the dude tried to reinvent himself. And the director says that Snoop Dogg makes him want to get a Corona. And you know what? If Warren was here, Warren would be like, "You want to get Snoop Dogg on the show? We can get Snoop Dogg. Oh my God, what if Snoop Dogg was on the show? Oh my God, hey you guys, you know what? We could get Snoop Dogg. I think we should write a bit part for Snoop Dogg. What if Snoop Dogg was in the film? Could we get Snoop Dogg a bit part? Like you guys, Snoop Dogg. That's how Warren talks about everyone. Like, what if we get him a bit part? So Warren is not here, so I'm picking on him a little bit. Gonna try our guest again. We still have some of the show going on. We're trying to get our guest on. I don't want to do the whole show again this week, you guys. Let's see if our guest will accept and come on with decent audio. And if not, we're gonna wing it. We're going to find out what happens. Maybe the audio is on my end. Can you guys hear me? I keep saying that. Speaking of that Verizon guy, he did commercials and he was like, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And then he did another commercial where he like bagged on that other commercial. And so how long do you think his contract was, or did he have a non-compete clause? Like, what allowed him to go on TV and then smash this other company that he used to work for? I don't know. Like, you know, and then I thought to myself, I wouldn't hire that guy. There's no way. But does that guy make so much money that doesn't matter? And then does that guy then from there, does he go on to make film? I'll bet you that guy never makes a movie, right? Because as soon as you see him, you'd be like, that's that Verizon sellout clacker, dude. Like, forget that barnyard fool. Like, I ain't down with him. Also, today, I heard in a rhyme that cool rhymes with fool, which I thought was kind of an interesting thing. You know, and so let's see if we can bring on Mark Eatons, and we'll just have a total separate guest, and we'll see what happens. That's what they're telling me. The production team is telling me to do. We're going to try to bring him on, and we'll wing it. You know me, I'm good at that. I am the star that shoots for the moon, and even if I miss, I'll land on Mars. Here we go. Let's try one more time. Tracy had sent me a request. We're going to see what happens. There's already a guest in this broadcast. What? You guys know there's not already a guest in this broadcast. Facebook, what are you doing? Zuckerberg, what are you doing? So Todd doesn't need to help. Hang on. You guys, calm down, production team. If Warren was here, he would have had this figured out. He's the guy. You guys, I can't believe he's not here this week, the producer. He's here every week. Some days we have 3 watchers. This week we have a plethora of watchers. And I won't want to just say plethora without knowing what a plethora means. It means many. So there you go. Plethora means many. And you know how I know that? 3 amigos. That's right. 3 amigos. Because he gets a sweater for his birthday. And he says, oh no, piñatas. He says, is there going to be piñatas? Oh my gosh. He says, is there going to be piñatas? And the other kid says, the dude, he says, there's going to be a plethora of piñatas. And let me say something. Who would want to go to a party where there was not a plethora of piñatas? Am I right? A sweater. So let's see. We're going to try to bring on a different guest. It won't, I don't know what to do here. It won't do it. Come on, people now. Smile on me, brother. Oh my God, we're in. Okay.
Thanks, Rich.
We're going with horrible audio. So, okay.
Let me just.
If the audience can tell me how bad I am and if they can hear you, what's going on? Because I sound pretty terrible in my ears.
In the earphones. How's that?
I can't hear you very well. I think if I turn my audio up, it's not going to be good, but let me try again. We're going to try again. I don't know what's going to happen.
Hello?
Okay. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, it's clear.
Oh, cool.
It's echo without the earphones. So I don't know what you guys are saying. Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's perfect. We're ready to go.
Awesome.
We are almost a half hour into the show. Can you imagine?
Wow.
So last week I did 100% of the show by myself because we could not connect with Jahil Whitworth. So Warren was tasked this week with asking you to make sure you could connect, and clearly you did. And now we know it's headphones. So thank you to Red Marie out there who suggested the headphone tip. And thank you to Zuckerberg for his wonderful platform, allowing us to do Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalakis. And now our guest, Tracy Sheldon. Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start with my favorite question because we're going to get right to it. My favorite question is, how did you come to be on the film? Because this is why we're here, Coffee Breaks the Film. Mm-hmm. How did you come to be on the film? Like, how did you get cast?
I shot an indie film with Warren. I did a scene with him, a movie with him. And so he reached out to me to be in Coffee Breaks.
Okay. And so Warren is the key once again. I don't know if you've been trying to connect, you may have heard me talk about Warren quite a bit.
Yes.
He's producer of this show, and he is now production assistant on the film as well. And, you know, he's very excited about that. So he got you involved.
Yes, he did.
And you did an indie film with him, and I'm assuming that's in Florida.
Yes, it was called Six Strings.
Six Strings. Okay.
Yes.
And tell us, before I want to get to Coffee Breaks, tell us a little bit about Six Strings.
Six Strings is about an internet superstar. She wants to become famous, and has a big YouTube following. And I play her quirky best friend that cheers her on to follow her dreams. And I we have to end up going to see like a doctor because she has some health issues, and Warren plays the doctor in the scene, and I'm her best friend, and we go to visit Warren at the doctor's office.
Warren played the doctor in that film.
He
I
played the
can't believe
doctor.
he's missing his. This is going to be his favorite episode ever because we've talked about him so much. So he plays the doctor, and you were in that. So okay, so you probably then are not working with him in coffee breaks. You probably are not in the scene he's in. I guess the dinner scene. I guess is the one he's in.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm Justin's girlfriend.
You're Justin's girlfriend, right?
Yes.
And Justin played by Jesse Heyman.
Yes.
And so what is it? What do you like? Are you excited about that? Because Jesse Heyman is such a big star. Like he's such a big known talent. Like to me,
know.
that seems intimidating. So what do you feel
Yes.
about that?
I looked him up. I saw the credits that he has, and I saw his commercial for GoDaddy. That was a pretty wild commercial. And I saw him kissing lots of girls on the red carpet.
He's we've tried to have him on the show, and unfortunately, even for our show, he's even too big. We can't, like, the guy is a huge star. So you actually have like scenes with him.
Yes.
So so is that I mean, I don't know that, I don't want to call the guy an A-lister, right? I don't think he would call himself an A-lister, probably. To me, I don't want to. Maybe he is, and I think of him as that, but I don't want to like. Yes, you know what I mean? So I've never worked with somebody like that, like of that big of a talent. So like, I mean, what do you think on that? Is this your first time with somebody of like, because he's pretty big, I mean.
Yes, I think it'll be really fun to work with him. He seems like a great character. He seems like he's really funny. And he was also in Old School, which is pretty neat. I like Old School. That was a really good movie. I love comedy. Comedy's like my favorite. So I'm excited to work with him and meet him in person.
Right. I'm really stoked to meet him, and I have to come up and play it cool, right? Like I have to be like, I have to be like, oh yeah, hey man, we're gonna do like 100 scenes together. I have to be like, oh cool, but really I'm like, dang dude, you were in Old School. Like, So you consider yourself bi-coastal. That's what I read, that you do California,
Yes.
obviously Los Angeles, and you do Florida.
Yes.
So how does that work for you?
Well, we started out, my brother and I, we moved to LA, and then a bunch of people from our little town in Pennsylvania actually followed us out there to LA. And so we started out in LA. That's where we studied acting. And then I moved to Florida, and then I just started going back and forth just because my brother was still out there. And then I was in Florida, so that always gave me a home base to kind of go back and forth. And then we just recently shot a movie called The Man with the Pink Bicycle. So we're also independent filmmakers as well. We shot that in Venice Beach. And so that took us about 2 years to film, and now we're in post-production. My brother plays the man on the pink bicycle. And we all grew up together, everyone that's in the movie that followed us out to LA. So it's kind of come full circle. And my mom and dad are in it.
And when you say followed you out to LA, you mean because you owed them money? No, you mean because they were like,
well,
who followed you? Like other actors, or you mean like stalkers, or you mean like people with guns? Like, what do you mean?
Well, my brother and I went first, and we kind of set up base, and then everybody from our little town knew we were out there, so we would let them live with. Yeah,
from your little town.
With us. Yeah, we grew up in a small little town in Pennsylvania. And,
like in that Mr. Deeds movie where they're like, "Hey, you all got to come over here," and Crazy Eyes went with you. Like, is that what you're saying? Like,
I don't know. It just kind of happened. Yeah, it was kind of weird. It just kind of happened like that. My brother and I went first, and then.
How many people are we talking?
Oh my God, there's probably like 6 or 7 people that ended up coming out to LA.
Okay, and so you decided, you go to LA, you make these movies, you set up there, and you decide, what's a really smart move is to go to Florida. Why did you do that?
Well, I ended up meeting a Czech guy, and so then that's how I started becoming a little more bi-coastal, because I was kind of, going between Florida, Key West, where I had met him, and then out to LA. And then I actually made a movie when I married him called I Married a Czech Boy.
Don't get ahead of me, guest.
Whoops, I'm sorry.
I'm coming to that.
I'm Sorry.
Don't. Well, I know we got half an hour, but calm down,
Sorry.
guys. No. Listen, let's talk about that. So you made a documentary, because I know this. It's called "So I Married a Czech Boy."
Yes.
And which I'm fascinated by this. You said, I'm getting married, and you said, this is such a wild story, and I'm an actor. I should make a documentary about my wedding. Is that what happened? How did this happen?
I just figured, well, all the Czech boys, they were kind of crazy characters, and they all lived in Key West. And I have a lot of friends that are actors and filmmaker friends. And one of my filmmaker friends had just moved back from LA. So I paid him to come to Key West to film all of it. And my grandma was a character. She was like dancing like with her oxygen, like, and everybody was just crazy and fun. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna make this into a movie and give myself another IMDb credit here.
Okay, so it's like a great IMDb credit though, like because it's like totally legit, and so it's like a really good thing. So you thought you thought, okay, I'm sort of involved in this wild relationship. I should film this.
Yes.
And so you've married a Czech boy, and you're not still married then?
No.
Are you? Okay.
No, so I need volume number 2.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there a sequel? Well, I didn't know this. I didn't know if the sequel was going to be, I ditched that Czech dude, or I cashed that check. There you go. I cashed that check is the sequel.
I might have to look for another country, maybe America. I'm not sure.
I cashed that check, An American Boy, Part 2. Like, I don't, how does this work? I mean,
I checked out of the checks.
I checked out. I checked out. That's pretty funny. So, I'm sorry. I realized that's okay. So that movie, we know how it ended. And so, have you done, okay, so I wanted to ask you your main differences, and I don't want to get political because we all know the political differences.
Okay.
But Florida and California, you're from Pennsylvania. So my father's from Pennsylvania. So I know a lot about, I know a lot about it.
Which part?
Philadelphia, actually.
Oh, okay.
West Philadelphia, born and raised, on the playground was where I spent most of my days, actually.
Awesome.
And then my dad moved to California, but it wasn't Bel Air. It was somewhere else.
Okay.
And right, but have you ever heard that? Have you ever heard that rhyme?
Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
It's actually sort of true. I was always like, dude, really? I was always like, Will Smith could have been there when I was there, because when. So anyway, that's not the point. You moved from Philadelphia. You choose California for the movies.
I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm on the other side.
Pittsburgh. Okay, right. So
I've never been to Philly, but I would love to check it out.
Okay, so you're like a Steelers fan, right?
Yeah, go Steelers. Got my yellow on here.
Okay, so this is where the part where we lose the guest again. No, I'm just you guys, audio. So anyway, I don't disrespect any football team except Dallas. Okay, so tell us, what's the biggest difference? You moved from California to Florida, and obviously I get that. I get the relocation thing. What's the biggest difference, non-politically, please? We're trying to keep this a friendly show.
There's a huge community here of actors, which is pretty awesome, between Orlando, Tampa, and Miami. I don't think a lot of people know that. And I didn't really know that till I moved here, and I started making a movie with one of my friends who had just moved back as well. And I was like, wow, I didn't know all these actors were here. So, but a lot of them move all around too, and a lot of them book on tape from here to Atlanta. And there's tons of indies, really big indie scene, and there's some really amazing film festivals, the Sunscreen Film Festival and the Gasparilla Film Festival. So it's kind of like a little community. So I kind of like that. But I also miss LA too. What I love about LA is like everybody's an artist, and everybody supports each other, and I love both places. So it's a kind of, and I love the fact that that's where Hollywood started.
Right. So you're saying you feel more community in Florida though?
It seems because it's a smaller community. I feel like in LA, like my brother and I, we created our own community, like by having parties and with everybody in our acting class. I think you have to really kind of create your community in LA.
You know what? I would agree with that. And I think that's really wise to tell a lot of actors that are watching the show, because I do like to make this, as much as I fool around and talk about other random crap, I do like to make this about acting. And I noticed that in San Francisco, that it was like a tight-knit group. Like we all knew each other. if you've worked with somebody on set, you've worked with them 3 times before. But in Los Angeles, it's not that way. In Los Angeles, even like there's like, and they keep talking about hierarchy. Did you notice like that? Like that, like extras don't associate with featured extras, and then featured extras aren't talked to by principals, and you know, like, did you notice that kind of thing?
Not really, because like we kind of right away got into like an acting class, and then from that acting class we had all these parties, and our idea was like, okay, we're gonna create a group of friends that all party together and change Hollywood together, and so we would have every 3 months these parties. I'm on the phone. Oh, hi, it's my brother. He's also an actor.
He is a star as well. Yes, he's producer. Yeah.
We can't view it at the moment.
He's the man on the pink bicycle.
Well,
Get on your bike and ride.
You want to say hi, Rich? This is the man with the pink bicycle.
Let's see, Rich.
He's the man on the pink bicycle. Yeah.
Look at that guy, Rich. Good to meet you.
I can't hear you.
He also does commercials.
You don't need to hear me. Okay, well,
he's got the headphones.
Oh, I have the headphones. He can't hear you. Sorry.
No, I know.
I want to be able to view this broadcast.
I don't have it viewing right now at the moment.
No, you will after.
Yeah, afterwards.
No. You go live. You got to be friends. You got to come on my feed.
Okay.
This guy's hysterical. We're taping a live show, brother.
That was my brother. Sorry about that.
So nobody can watch it live right now. There's people chatting though.
No. He needs to. You can watch it live if you're live on my feed.
Okay, you have to go on his.
You have to go
Jason's
on
Jason.
Yeah.
How do you spell it?
No, Jason Zalatkis. Come on, it's Coffee Breaks Thursday with Jason Zalatkis. Zlatkus for those watching at home. You guys already watch it.
Zlatkus.
So your brother comes in. He's a producer, and so he should understand a live taping.
Oh my goodness. He's an actor and a musician. Yeah.
So he should understand a live show. That you don't have a red light on outside your door that says live radio. So anyway,
this is a crazy show.
It is a crazy show today. I love that cameo by the man on the pink bicycle. That was fantastic. So you and your brother, I believe, also created a film, because you mentioned Changing Hollywood.
Yes.
So
we did that.
Okay, so you created a film called Changing Hollywood.
Yes, we did that. And
tell me about that. Is that a documentary too? Tell us about that.
That was like, we had all found this house and we were all living in Hancock Park. And we decided at the time that we were going to take all of the friends that we had and create a story around our lives and make them like kind of bigger than life characters. And so it was kind of, a lot of it was all improv about all the characters we created. So we filmed that in 5 days in our house. And it kind of happened on the fly. Like, we were all excited. We wanted it to happen. We kept saying, it's happening, it's happening, it's happening. And then out of nowhere, it happened. Like, we made it happen. And so that was like a fun experience. So that was one of the things we did. And then we also did another thing called LA Takeout when my brother was at Florida State. We actually got that on the air on PBS.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So that's what I want. Okay, so tell us about that. So that gets televised. So tell us about LA Takeout. So tell us about that. Is it satirical?
Okay.
I feel like it should be. I mean,
this was
and
before
how
we moved to LA.
Del Taco, right? Oh, it was before you moved. Okay.
It was before we moved to LA. My brother was going to Florida State, and they picked 5 students to do whatever they wanted on the air on PBS. So he asked me to come along and be the producer. So, and he also wrote me a part. I said, I will do it as long as you write me a part.
Right.
And so he wrote me a part, and then I was able to get all of these free things, like free T-shirts that said LA Takeout, a sign that said LA Takeout. I told all of them that we would thank them in the credits, and I didn't even know if we'd be on the air. I just said that. And then we actually got on the air for 1 month, and we were put in the program of PBS. So that was pretty exciting and fun.
And so you shot that, though, in Florida.
In Florida State, or my brother was going to Florida State.
And how does it relate to LA Takeout? How does it?
It was a bunch of people that worked in a restaurant, and they lived in Ohio, and they wanted to go to LA, and so that's what it was about. It was about them trying to make it in working in a restaurant, and that LA Takeout was the name of the restaurant.
And that's obviously written? Was your brother? He's watching, but was he a waiter? Like, where's the inspiration for this?
I don't know, he just came up with the idea because we all wanted to go to LA, and so that was like an idea came up with, like, waiters trying to make it to get to LA.
And what? Okay, right. So what character did you play?
I played Courtney. She was kind of like a bubble airhead.
A bubble airhead waitress.
Yeah.
Okay, and is that and I don't know how to ask this question, but do you get cast that often?
That was actually the only time I ever did it, actually.
Okay, what is your normal cast? Tell us what, like, because here you're a girlfriend and you're not,
Yeah.
you're like a high-end girlfriend. Like, you're like, whoa. Like, I mean, because we're all impressed that, Justin, the character Justin, has you and all this stuff. So, what is, what do you normally, like, what's your normal cast? Like, how do you normally
Well,
get profiled?
I love playing different characters. Like, I just love, like in the Man with the Pink Bicycle, I play a disco roller queen named Hot Wheels. So I just love playing characters, and I have another little thing I did called Redneck Red Carpet, where I play hillbilly. So I don't know. I just love playing different characters.
Okay,
I love
so a
comedy.
broad range. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I love playing different characters, they're always like, "Hey, do you want to be a cop?" And and so I'm always like, "No," like, and then they're like, "Hey, do you want to be someone's dad?" And I'm like, "All right, like I guess, right?" Like I play the dad a lot. So you play the roller skate girl, and you're a model as well.
Yes. I've
Okay,
done
so
some print modeling and things like that.
some print modeling. And
Yes, in Tampa.
Is there anything? Oh,
No,
in
nothing
Tampa.
big.
Okay,
Yeah.
nothing big. Okay, just local stuff and all
Just
that.
local things. Yeah.
Do you ever have it where people talk about, like, on set, where, because they say to me this sometimes, or say this to me sometimes, I just yoded right there, said it backwards, but do they ever say to you, like, well, you're a model, so you're not really an actor, or you're an actor, so you're not really, a model? Do they ever say that kind of stuff?
No, I
Okay,
don't
they never
know.
say that.
No.
Oh, okay, they just sort of go, of course you are. We understand both of those.
Well, I started out as a school teacher, and then from being a school teacher is why I wanted to be an actor, because I was teaching first grade, and I was always trying to get them to laugh. And then I was like, I want to be an actor. And then not far after that, I ended up meeting Benicio del Toro when I was teaching first grade in Pittsburgh, and he actually encouraged me to go after my dream and to be an actress. Like, I didn't really think, like, in Pennsylvania that you could go after your dreams and do that. I just felt like far away. And then when I
Right.
met him, he kind of encouraged me, and I'm like, oh, you could do this. And so then we ended up a couple years later, after LA Takeout, moving to LA.
Right, and then you trained too, and you trained. Was that at his encouragement, or was that
Um,
with him?
it it was
Because
his acting coach, actually. His name was Arthur Mendoza at the
right,
Actors Circle Theater. He's an amazing coach, and my brother studied with him too, and a lot of the other people who followed us out to LA also studied with him, and so we did a lot of, like, classic, like Tennessee Williams, and we played a lot of different characters, and we were always rehearsing in our house that we had in LA. We had everybody, like, at our class rehearsing in a different room in the house. So it was just really fun to, like, just follow your dream and just all of a sudden be with all these awesome actors from everywhere, from all over the world.
and you would recommend that, or would you say, you know what, I'm not sure I would do that again, like, kind of thing? I mean, it sounds like you would recommend that.
I think you should follow your heart wherever it takes you, because I see a lot of people telling people, oh, don't go here till you have this many credits. Like, I think it was good. We just followed our heart and we did it, and it all worked out. I don't think you should, like, have oh, I don't know. I think you should just do it. Just go for it.
Just do it, right?
Yeah.
So, like Nike,
Yeah.
right? So, which I think is great. The other thing, and so in Florida, I I've lost my train of thought again here, which I tend to do. But you were talking about follow your heart, and let me go back to a different question. I sort of had all these questions in mind, and okay, so you did work at Hamburger Hamlet. Your brother is telling us that you worked at Hamburger Hamlet in Beverly Hills. So you omitted
Yes.
that. Your brother has ratted it out.
Ah.
And so you followed your dreams, and it led you to do this, and then you followed the check boy to Florida. And what's your plan now? Like home base Florida? Move again? Because you said a lot of people sort of move around, and you can still play the Atlanta market. Like, what's the plan?
I like LA and Florida best.
Okay.
So, well, we just finished shooting our movie in October of last year, and we're going to come to LA and have some screenings of that movie and some premieres. So I would love to be able to be in both places if that would be a possibility.
Right, to probably work both, right? I guess
Yeah,
that's sort of always what I figured. And then,
yeah,
when I started to like profile in LA, they were like, you're in San Francisco, and I was like, yeah, so what? Like I'm literally like, a 6 hour drive or 8 hour drive, and they were like, yeah, call us when you
yeah,
get here, kid.
yeah, right,
Right. So that's why. So then I just moved here, and
right.
now I'm sort of like doing what you do. I mean, I'm not or doing what you did. How? That's my question. I finally remembered it. How important do you feel then is it? And I like to ask actors this question. How important do you feel it is to create your own content versus, I say, get cast in something? Because you've had wild success, I think, with your own created content. So how important is it for actors to do that?
I think it's very important because you can create the exact character that you want to play instead of them typecasting you and how they see you. You could, be who you want to be and create your own character. And it's really fun if you do it with a bunch of friends that are also, have the same idea. But I really think it's important to always create your own content. But the way it's happened with me, it's always that just kind of happened from the beginning, and then another one will happen, and then another one will happen. They haven't really been planned. They just
Okay.
they just kind of come to me.
And so you said you've obviously, as you said earlier, you really avoided being typecast. And I guess that's what I was saying. I seem to get typecast as,
Yeah,
I can only play like a few guys and or maybe 3 or 4 guys. I'm not even sure. I can play like the angry version of me and the funny version of me and the scary version of me and, the lovable version of me. That's probably, pretty much it. But, so you have done it to avoid being typecast. How important as an actor do you think that is, like, to avoid being typecast?
I think it's important to show Hollywood who you want to play instead of letting them pigeonhole you into who you should play. Then you have more creativity to be whatever character you want to be. So I think it's really important.
When you have pick out your headshots for some, say, like on IMDb or say, Actors Access or whatever you guys use in Florida. We use Actors Access here in Los
Hmm.
Angeles, and I use Backstage and other things in San Francisco. How important do you think it is then to show the variety? Because I've recently done this. I've recently updated and changed for variety and stuff. So how important do you think variety is? Obviously, it sounds like a lot.
I think it's really important. You should show all the different characters you can play and with all your different headshots. I think
And
it's fun
and
to
do you
create those
think
characters.
Okay. So creating the different characters and like you said, so that was part of what drew you in, was
Yeah.
that you were creating these different characters for 1 year. I'm sorry, 1 year olds, first graders. Uh, so how did they respond? And when you do characters like that, are you doing theater or are you
I
doing
was
like film acting? Like what are you
I
doing
was
for them?
just always trying to get them to laugh to get their attention because they had short attention spans. So, and then I started thinking like I was kind of performing in a way to get them to, listen. So that's just when the little light bulb went off, like, oh, I want to be an actor.
And so do you
And
choose comedies then? Like, are you still looking for the laugh, or have you decided now to do like more dramatic pictures? Obviously, Coffee Breaks, which was Bring Us Together, Coffee Breaks Thursdays, is a dramedy. So what do you look for in a role?
I like to play different characters. That's the main thing. But I do also love comedy. But I would be interested in doing dramatic parts as well. I'd like to do it all. I'd like to do
Okay, but
everything.
let's say when you're looking at a role, when you're handed a
Hmm.
script, what do you what's a deciding factor? Excuse me. What's a deciding factor for you in the script, taking a script, not taking a role?
I would just say it would be like the character, if I get to create, something different besides what they would typecast you as, in a good script and good actors that you get to work with.
Okay, so who you work with is important.
Yes.
You know,
Well, definitely.
well,
Hmm.
I agree. I don't disagree. I think who you work with is important. I mean, I don't want to say I've been typecast. I played a homeless guy 6 times,
Hmm.
but if they offer me the homeless guy, I'm still looking at that role.
Yeah.
Are you saying you would like, oh no, I've been the homeless guy a bunch of times? I guess that does come into consideration. I guess I do go, no, I've already done this. My cat is making hysterical noises in the background. I don't know if you can hear that, but how, again, like that's what I'm saying. So do you not take a role because you've done it before?
No, I
Or
would not at
you
this
would consider
point.
it still?
Maybe later.
At this point, you
Yeah.
still take it.
Yeah.
Right, right. Me too. Yeah, I have to
Yeah.
agree. Let me ask you some other questions. We're having such a wild time. We don't have a ton of time left. I wanted to ask some fun questions.
Okay.
And I know it's kind of crazy. I'm getting a little off topic, and this might be but wild, but whatever, right? We're having a good time on Coffee Breaks Thursdays here with Jason Zalakis. And Zalakis, there you go. I always say
Is
my
it
name.
is it Greek or Italian?
It's Lithuanian because a lot
Lithuanian.
of Lithuanians are you're not Lithuanian, are you? I mean, are you?
I'm
Because you settled in Philadelphia. There's a
I'm
lot
English,
of
Irish,
Lithuanians.
Scottish, Polish, French, German, and Swedish.
So wait, you're okay. So anyway, yeah, I heard Polish in there.
Yeah.
That's my mother's side. German, Swedish, whatever, whoever. But that's hey, let's get to the fun parts. Dressing up your pet. I recently saw this thing where people were making hats for their lizards, and my kids have lizards, and they say
Lizards.
that yeah, lizards and snakes. My daughter has a snake. We want to make little hats. We want to sew little hats. We want to put
That's
little hats.
funny.
Should people dress up their pets?
Yes, of course.
Do you have
I
pets?
Oh yes, I have a kitty named Leo, and he actually likes to catch lizards. He catches lizards every day here in Florida.
Now, if that lizard was wearing a hat, would it potentially would he been like, oh heck no, that's a stylish ass lizard right there, or would he
Yeah.
still like? Okay, so do you dress up your Leo? You dress him up?
I dressed him up with a little like 4th of July tie for the 4th of July, and then I had a golden retriever named Malibu, and I used to dress her up all the time. I have her actually on my Facebook page where I have her dressed up in so many different outfits.
Okay, so
She
you're a
was,
fan of dressing up
oh
your
yeah,
pet,
you
and
should.
is that because you agree with animal torture? So, so
It wasn't
should
very easy to get my golden retriever to dress up like that, but she did it.
I can't imagine why that would. So,
They don't really like it.
okay, so you actually put a golden retriever in an outfit.
Oh, many outfits. I have a princess outfit, a Marilyn Monroe wig. What else?
And was this during the time of the Czech boy? What did the Czech boy think of this?
Oh, he didn't mind.
He was like, and I don't know how he speaks, but I assume he's like, oh, you Americans dress up your pets. I have no idea how he talks, but it's probably like that. You know, I
Kind
don't do
of.
accents on film for that reason. So let me ask you another question. Alcatraz, you've heard of Alcatraz, right?
Yes, San Francisco.
Correct. Did the guys make it? The guys who escaped, are they alive?
I do not know. Can I
You
Google
know
that?
you know the story, right? That people busted out of Alcatraz. Do you believe that? Do you believe that they busted Alcatraz? They swim through the. It's French, Jay. Thanks. My wife is correcting my accent, like it matters. Um, she's the worst acting critic ever. Leave me alone. No, I'm kidding. But these guys escaped. They swim through
She
the
didn't
icy
bust
cold
into your
water.
show though.
No. She did not bust into my show, and she can do anything she wants. But they swim through the icy cold water. Do they make it? Do they survive?
They're probably hiding out somewhere.
You think they could, because they've never been caught, they could still be alive.
Yeah.
Is that true then for Jack the Ripper? He's never been caught.
It could be.
He could still be alive.
Well, wasn't that a long time ago though?
What if, I just figured the guy's never been caught. What if he's out there still? What if
He might be.
What if he put his soul into a doll?
Oh, no.
Have you ever considered that?
A doll?
Yeah, like, what if, I got an idea for a film.
Creepy.
Serial killer puts his soul into a doll. What do you think?
Good idea. Horror film.
Could be a horror film?
Yeah.
Have you never seen a movie like that?
No.
Okay. Could be a good idea then. Could be
Yeah.
totally fresh.
Dolls are always creepy.
Dolls indeed are creepy. What
Yeah.
if there was a whole series of films about a doll that just kept coming back and killing people? I think that'd be a good seller.
Yeah, that would be.
so, so listen, we are running out of time, unfortunately. Tell the people, because I'm going to extend the show for you a little bit. I'm going to extend the show, you guys.
Okay.
I'm just loving it. I'm having such a great time, and I've talked way too long. We want to hear from you. Tell us what you have. Obviously, coffee breaks, but tell us what you have coming up that we might not know about. Obviously, the premieres, those things. Mention it to us. Tell us what you got going on.
Well, we're finishing editing The Man with the Pink Bicycle, and one of the guys that was in my brother's band, his name's Eric Gahn, and he actually won an Emmy for the Sons of Anarchy. He's going to do our sounds. We're excited about that because sound makes a big difference with independent film. And he said he
And
also had
on
a screening.
audio like this, sound is
Yes.
a huge problem, we've noticed.
Right.
So, all right, so continue. I'm sorry, continue.
Yeah, so he said he would also have a screening for us out there as well. So that's
Wonderful.
exciting. So as we get closer to that, we're going to have a little screening in LA. And
I'm looking for my invite, by the way.
okay, you're definitely invited.
Shout out to your brother. I'll host.
Yes, definitely. That'd be cool.
So go on. I'm sorry. Continue.
So we're excited about that. And there's another movie that there's a local filmmaker here. Her name is Kelly Helen Thompson. It's called Mr. Twinkle, and I'm going to be playing a role in that coming up. And there's another guy.
Is that a
Joel
horror movie?
Wynkoop.
Is Mr. Twinkle
That's a
horror
comedy.
movie?
That's a comedy.
Mr. Twinkle's
Mr.
comedy.
Twinkle. Mr. Twinkle's a comedy.
Fascinating. That sounds amazing. I already love it. Mr. Twinkle, the best name for a comedy, the best name for a horror film. It works. Continue. Please continue. Mr. Twinkle.
That's coming up.
Oh my God, the producer's here, Warren Madden. Please continue.
What did you say?
I keep saying
him.
please
Hi,
continue
Warren.
and then interrupting you, but the producer finally joined. You're going to love
Warren.
this show, Warren. You got to watch it back. You've missed it all. We're not going to rehash that whole thing. Continue, Tracy, please.
And there's one more coming up called the Craigland Incident, and that's Joel Wynkoop. He's a kind of a cult classic filmmaker here in Tampa Bay, and I have a little part in that.
Sounds like a lot of action going on in Tampa Bay.
There's a lot. You wouldn't believe it. I don't think the funny thing is when I go to LA and you tell people that, they don't believe it, but it's true. There's a lot going on here between Miami, Tampa, and Orlando. There's a huge film community here.
Is there anything going on in Miami besides Gloria Estefan?
I think they just did a movie with Andy Garcia there called Father of the Bride.
Was Gloria
What about Gloria Estefan?
Was she in that film?
I don't know if she was in. I know Andy Garcia. She might have been.
What if Andy Garcia and Gloria Estefan got together in Miami? What would happen? Could Cuba just respawn? Like, what would happen? Okay. So your brother pitched a question. Again, I'm extending the show. I keep looking at the clock. I'm looking over there. That's where my refrigerator is. That's where my White Castle hamburgers are waiting. But tell me, a movie about killer manatees. Has your brother pitched this to you? Manatees, because you live in Florida.
Well, at the moment, I'm living in an area that's very close to this called Weeki Wachee. It's about 40 minutes from Tampa. And
I've actually heard of it.
It's so beautiful. It's a crystal clear river. It looks like a swimming pool. And everybody goes kayaking. And there's manatees. You see a bunch of manatees while you're kayaking. So we actually had an idea. It would be fun to make a movie with manatees and mermaids and pirates because it's such an amazing place.
Well, you had me at manatees, but mermaids and pirates? Show me the money. Like, wow. So
well, there's a place also where it's called Weeki Wachee. They have live mermaid shows, and it's a part of the Crystal River, and they dive into the Crystal River while they do the mermaid shows. It's a part of the Weeki Wachee Mermaid Park.
Weeki Wachee. I keep hitting this stupid chord, but I wanted to make sure our audio was clear, so I switched from my headphones. But Weeki Wachee sounds like a made-up name.
I know.
Is that where Ewoks live? Ewoks live there, right?
Weeki Wachee.
Weeki Wachee, and then the Ewoks come out and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna fight stormtroopers."
There's actually footage from Elvis going to Weeki Wachee to meet the mermaids because it used to be ABC used to own the Weeki Wachee Mermaid Park at one point, and I guess mermaids came from all over the world to be a mermaid there. Actually, they're having auditions for mermaids. And they have mermen too.
Merman. It's merman, Dad. Gosh, merman.
Yeah, but it's like they have to you have to be able to swim underwater while you're doing the show, and they have this little breathing tube. It looks kind of difficult to me.
So Elvis went there and met the mermaids. He didn't care about the manatees.
No, he didn't care about manatees.
Okay, so to shoot a film there, and now all of a sudden I'm extending the show. This is like super fascinating. We should have got to this earlier. To shoot there, do you need a permit? Do you have to have a permit to say go shoot with the manatees, or can you just guerrilla shoot there? Like
Well,
how? I mean, I know Florida is like we don't give a shit about laws. So like what? I tease Florida a lot. You should know I have this proposal for Florida, and it comes from this movie I saw called Escape from New York, and it's where they have this prison and it's on an island, and so but think it's in Florida. What do you think? Anyway,
sounds good.
So the
Anything in Florida sounds good.
anything in Florida, break it off, snap it off as a prison island. It sounds great as long as it's in Florida. But so the manatees, you can go there, you can guerrilla shoot. How does that work?
Well, it's pretty easy to guerrilla shoot as long as you have a GoPro. And you know, when we did the Man with the Pink Bicycle, we didn't get in any trouble. We did it all over LA. We guerrilla shot out there. We didn't have film permits. Whoops. I told on herself.
Well, okay. Now, granted, in LA, it's sort of anything goes, right? And even if you could just be like, we're UCLA students, and no one will care. But in Florida, you know, you can do the same. But I didn't know. What I'm asking, I guess, is the manatees are not protected in any way. You can just go out there.
Yeah, you can swim with them. Like you can touch them if you want. You're not really allowed to touch them, but if you go to the next town over, it's called Crystal River, and you come in the winter. There's usually like 500 manatees because they all come from the ocean to the Crystal River, and you can get like a wetsuit and you can dive and swim with them, and it's awesome. And they'll actually film you too, and it's not that much. I think it's only like $60 with the wetsuit. And
do they have them fenced off? You have to pay to go there?
No, it's in the wild. It's in the wild, and that town just allows you to do that. You have to, you know, you can't like be too crazy, but you're allowed to like touch them like on the top and stuff.
Like you can't
like
wear
roll
one
around.
as a backpack, or like you can't like make one into a hat or anything like that.
No, but they're pretty amazing creatures, and they like to roll around, and they'll let you touch their stomach and their belly. It's pretty cool.
You're not freaked out by them at all?
No, because they're vegetarians and they're just real sweet. Yeah, they're pretty amazing. But when you are kayaking on the Wiki Watchie, everybody will start yelling. Everybody with their kayaks, manatee, manatee, and so then you'll see the manatee, and it's pretty.
And what does
awesome.
the manatee do when people start yelling its name? Does it like get excited? Like does it pose? Like how? Because that's what I do. Like when people say
it kind of glides away from everybody.
Oh, it's like leave me alone.
Yeah, you could get a fine if you touch them in the wild, but if you're in Crystal River, the next Crystal River up, you can actually touch them if you're with a guide.
Okay, so the guides will take you over there and kind of help you fondle a manatee. So, and you guys plan to shoot a movie about killer manatees. So at what point does it stop being a vegetarian, and how does it become a killer manatee? How does the plot twist? Is that you know, how does that work? I mean, obviously, Rich isn't.
We're gonna have to figure that one out.
Okay, so but at this point, it's an idea.
I thought it was going to be about mermaids and manatees and pirates. I didn't know the killer manatees were pirates.
The manatees are not killer. Maybe the pirates and the mermaids are killer.
Yeah, or the pirates and the mermaids could work together. Maybe there's some evil mermaids and some evil pirates and some good ones.
What if the good ones work together to make the manatees endangered?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So that they can make a profit off filming people swimming with them.
That's a good idea, because I feel like the manatees really need help here, because when you're over there kayaking in Wiki Watchie, I don't think they're taking, precaution for the poor little manatees. Like you could see like on their back, they got hit by boats and different things like that. So I think they're starting to.
You got hardcore manatees. They're like, yo, shit, we're wounded, we're wearing scars. Or are they like, dang, I can't believe I just got hit by a boat. Like, what do you? Because they're vegetarians. So how do they act? Are they cool?
They're pretty peaceful and amazing. But I think it would be cool to have some mobster manatees, maybe a detective manatee. They can all be a part of the story, kind of like the dolphin movie, The Dolphin Tale.
Okay, so there hasn't been a film about manatees. It could be done, perhaps.
Yeah.
Would you voice a manatee? If somebody asked you, would you
that would be great
to voice a manatee?
That would be great.
So before we wrap up, let's touch on coffee breaks a little bit. I know we're supposed to have talked about that quite a bit, and every week the production teams mention coffee breaks and mention all these people that are in it. So forgive me. Let's take a moment to do that. John Lair, the Geico Caveman. We mentioned Jesse Heyman. Sarah Christine, of course, producer of this show, Warren Madden. Shout out to Matt Sly, the director, Tracy Simpson, the writer, and
Mm-hmm.
Todd Pierce, assistant director. And we also have real Hollywood talent, Wesley Ure and Kathy Coleman from Land of the Lost. And speaking of Land of the Lost, it brings me to another question. And the question is, in Florida, how often do you see an alligator like in real life? Like, how often do you see that?
You have to go to the lakes to see them. A couple years ago, I lived on a lake, so I would see them every day. But right now, where I'm living, I see more manatees than alligators. But you can see them very easily if you want.
And are the manatees and the alligators there in separate places?
They say there are no manatees there's no alligators in the Wiki Watchie. I really hope there isn't. I've seen a snake there once, but I haven't seen any alligators in there.
Was it a
They say the
large
water's
snake?
It was kind of a large snake. It was
Okay.
it was a moccasin. There's moccasins in there, but they don't really come near you. They stay over by the brush. They don't really bother you. I only saw one once. It was one of my mom's friends lives right on the Wiki Watchie, and I was pulling the kayak into her property, and there was a big moccasin, but it kind of swam away. But that was the only time I ever saw one. It was that time.
So the whole time you've lived there, you've seen it once.
In the Wiki Watchie, I only saw one
Oh, in the
moccasin.
Wiki Watchie. You've seen
Yeah.
them more than that, though? The moccasins are around?
They're as you're like kayaking, there's a sign that says moccasin breeding grounds. So I'm like, oh, stay away from that part.
We don't have that in California. We don't have that here. Moccasin breeding grounds? Why? Okay, so they're just like watch out, or like
Yeah.
because here we have like eagles and they go don't touch the eagles and stuff. We have like majestic shit, but but you guys there you have like deadly stuff. So
Yeah.
Okay, so you're like okay, and so when you're kayaking down the river, you're like, whoa, just don't go over there. Do you ever get like close enough? I mean, is it like like the Jaws ride where something's like like?
I think as long as you like stay away from the brush and the wooded area, you're okay. Like in the other area, it's a crystal clear swimming pool. You would see them coming, but I don't think they like to be in that area. They like to just go over by the brush.
You would see them coming. Are you fast enough to get out of the way? Let's say you see one coming. What do? Let's say you're like, oh, I'm going to see it coming. My father-in-law thinks he keeps a gun. You know why? He thinks he's going to shoot a bear. We keep a gun for the campsite because of bear. And I'm like, a bear can run a football field in 60 seconds. You're a dead man. You're not going to shoot no bear. You're going to be like Leo in that movie, except you don't live. So what do you actually think? Are you fast enough to get out of the water?
Well, I haven't seen any, and everybody that lives on the Wiki Watchie says they really you won't see them while you're kayaking. You only see them whenever you are in the brush area by the wooded area. And I've actually never seen them in the area where it's crystal clear ever.
Okay, so they likely don't. They obviously want to be in a hidden zone. They don't want to be seen like any other snake.
I think they're afraid of people.
Okay, even if maybe that's why they're deadly. I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm out in the ocean and I think to myself, well, that guy's further out. If there's a shark, he's going to get it. So that makes me feel a little better. So, so tell the people here before we wrap up. Tell the people here because we went a little over, and it's okay. We're doing whatever we're doing. Tell the people where they can find you, where they can become a fan, where they can see you. Tell the people about that.
You can find me on Instagram under Tracy Sheldon, on Facebook as Tracy Sheldon, on Twitter as Tracy Sheldon, and then you can like our page for our movie, The Man with the Pink Bicycle, which is on Facebook.
There you go. All right. So on Facebook, The Man with the Pink Bicycle and Tracy Sheldon. Let me give a shout out this week to people watching before we sign off. Thank you, Tracy, for being here. It's been a pleasure. We should have your brother on one time. We can hear the other side of the story. We haven't yet opened it up to people who are not on coffee breaks yet. So far, if you're not in the film, you're not on the show. And that's right. That's sort of the way it goes. So Rich sort of got a bonus there. He's the first. Maybe we'll have him as the first non-guest, but that's, of course, up to the producer, Warren Madden. Thank you, Warren Madden, for always producing this. You're definitely going to want to rewatch this episode.
We have a concert in Ojai on October 2nd. My brother's performing with a bunch of bands and comedians to support veterans.
Very good. So there
Yeah.
you go. And do you know where that is? Can you tell us where that is?
It's in Ojai in
No,
Ventura. On the date?
no. Like the location, like the
Oh, the
actual venue.
location.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to like get off the phone to tell you at the moment. Rich, can you tell him?
Okay. So it's at Sleazy Bar number 3 in
It's
Ohio.
it's at a campground. It's going to be a
Oh, it's at a
family
campground.
event. You can camp there. You can bike there. It's going to be a on
Can we Google it?
October
Can we
1st or
Google it?
2nd. Yes, I think you can.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm not prepared for that
And your brother's
exactly.
name is Rich.
Rich Sheldon. Yeah, he's
Rich
a
Sheldon. Same
singer
last name. Okay.
and actor. He's done a lot of commercials in LA too.
I told you, Warren's like, Rich can be in the Coffee Break series. I told you, if you mention anyone, Warren is like, put him on the show, put him on the show. Okay.
Yeah.
So, it's in Ventura, California. Why did
Yes.
you said Ohio? I heard Ohio.
Ventura.
Okay,
It's
in Ventura,
I said
California.
Ojai.
Ohio. Oh, that threw
Yeah.
me off. Okay. So,
It's at a campground.
it's at
gonna be like-
Ojai Campground. Oh, that's why. Oh, okay.
I think there's like 10
I don't do
bands,
camping.
comedians. Everyone's welcome and invited.
Everyone, okay, awesome. That's cool. Going to be in Ventura. That is awesome. So, real quick though, I want to tell the audience we are doing a special Saturday edition of this show, Coffee Breaks Thursdays with Jason Zalakis. We're doing a special edition this Saturday, the 11th. For September 11th, we want to do it to honor September 11th, and also we are doing it because Scott Crane, who is in the film with us, he works on Days of Our Lives,
awesome.
Monday through Friday. What's up with that? So we're
Can you get us in?
Right. So I never ask, I love that. I'm glad you asked that because I always want to, but I never do. I never go, hey man, put me on. Anyway, Monday through Friday, he's on Days of Our Lives. So we're going to have a special Saturday edition this Saturday. I guess we're going to say 11 a.m. Warren, we were talking about 10 a.m. We were talking about 11. We're going to do it 11 a.m. Tracy.
I like Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, that's right. He is the son of one of the guys from Hogan's Heroes. I never remember. I think it's Hogan, the actual guy, the main guy.
Yeah.
But, that is pretty great. Foghat is headlining October 2nd.
Foghat.
Yes, and your brother wants everybody to know they are the people who did Slow Ride, Take It Easy, like anyone doesn't know who Foghat is. Did you not know?
Rad.
Yeah, they do that, right? So, Ventura, California, go see Rich Sheldon. People, check out Coffee Breaks. Thank you for tuning in, Tracy. You've been a wonderful guest.
Yes, thank you. Nice meeting you.
You too, and I look forward to working with you. To the audience,
Me too.
We'll see you next week, guys. Thank you so much. Coffee Breaks
Bye.
Thursdays
Bye,
with
Coffee
Jason
Break.
Zalakis. Goodbye.
Bye.